Hi, I'm Holly. Um, I think some of you have probably heard a little bit about this past year for me. It's been quite a trial that I've been through. I was on a missions team to Haiti last year in February, and I got stung by a bee, which triggered an autoimmune disorder called dysautonomia. And so for the past year, little over a year now, I've been really struggling with my health. I lost about 170 pounds and went through all kinds of different testing and doctors and specialists here and there, and finally, through the help of Eastern Hills, I was able to get out to the Mayo Clinic and get my diagnosis on January 5th. So throughout this whole thing, there's been a lot of times where I was really questioning God and asking, why is He putting me through this? Why me? And I think it's only natural to ask those questions, but I think even more important is to continually look up to Him. And through this experience, when I went out to the Mayo Clinic, my father went with me, and before he went, we had a little bit of a strained relationship. But in going out there, I got to see this really cool side of him. I remember distinctly one day we were sitting around the kitchen table, and we were staying with a friend of mine from high school, and my dad was just like so giddy. We were playing like a card game or something, and it really made me see him in a new light. And we had asked him to go to church with us while we were out there, and the first weekend he went, and he just raved and raved and raved about this church. And he asked the following weekend to go again, and he hasn't been to church since before my sister passed away, which was in January of 1998. He went through a long phase of being angry with God. So, long story short, through me being sick for a year, I got to reconnect with my dad, and I got to take him to church. And when he came home, he started going to church with me back in our hometown in Warsaw at the Valley Chapel Church. And I think it was about 3 weekends ago now, he accepted Christ into his heart. And for me, that made the whole year totally worth it. And I just think, what is a year in the face of eternity? I mean, yeah, this year has been tough, but just holding on to that hope and like seeing God work in my dad's heart, I would have gone through dysautonomia for 5 years, lost 200 pounds, whatever it takes. And even more than that, the weekend that my dad got saved, he came to me and told me that, he said, "Hey Hal, I'm not the only one that you brought to God." And I said, "Oh yeah, who?" He said, "I was talking to Uncle Bill." This is his next oldest brother. And he was talking to him about me and what the treatment plans were, and Uncle Bill said, "Well, we're just going to have to pray about it." And my dad said, "Pray about it?" My uncle had started going to church because a woman from my church who cleans his house had told him about all of this thing, keeping him updated on what was going on with me, and got him to start going to church. The weekend after my dad asked Christ into his heart, my uncle also asked Christ into his heart. And literally my jaw dropped. I never ever would have imagined my uncle going to church, let alone praying for me, let alone asking Christ into his heart. And even though there are still days where I'm really struggling, health-wise, faith, asking God again, like, okay, I've carried this burden for a year now. Can we just be done with it? Like, I did the trial, we're over it, right? But I'm continually renewed in my hope in God, because I'm finding more and more of these stories that are making their way back to me of, I was away from the church for so long, but seeing you brought me back to God, or my strength, my faith in Christ has been strengthened because I've seen this trial that you're going through. So I think my main point is to say, even though sometimes we're short-sighted and we only see the bad things that are happening to us right here and now, if we are continually seeking after Christ, we can see that he is able to use our struggles to help other people, and in a way it's a blessing. I mean, it feels kind of backwards to say being sick for a year is a blessing, but like I said, I'm going to spend eternity with my dad in heaven, and that's pretty cool. And I hope that by the end of this trial, my mom will be there with us too.